We've had this local currency since 1991. As far as we know, it's the longest running local currency in the United States. We're kind of experiencing a big upsurge of interest in what we're doing in the last few years, ever since the economic downturn of the larger society. But what we've done is to create a local currency that is printed. It's like paper money, it's like dollars. So the idea way back in 1991, and I think it's more vital now than ever, was just for people to bring more money into their lives, doing things that they liked to do, that they knew how to do. So at the beginning, it was very much people who, maybe they did gardening, or maybe they did manual labor, or maybe they had a truck that they would lend out. And it was sort of a way for people to get into this network, which is now about maybe 500 people, maybe 1,000 people who use them. There's about $130,000 in circulation. And as I say, since it doesn't leave the community and you can't invest it, you can't do anything with it other than spend it, which is a good thing for the local economy, that enables people to save dollars if they're able to, but still have money to spend. Gradually, as the system developed and more people joined, then businesses started to get interested, because they thought, well, if there are 500 to 1,000 people walking around town with this money in their pocket, let me figure out a way that I can make use of it. One grocery store. The grocery store is Natural Foods Co-op called Green Star, that actually have been on board with the project since the beginning. The bank is a credit union that's called the Alternatives Credit Union, who have also been involved since the beginning. Coffee shops, or places like bookstores, record stores, that all of a sudden, 10 years ago we didn't have borders here. People weren't using Amazon to the degree that they do now. We didn't have a Barnes & Noble, which we do now. So those kind of stores that, are looking for some kind of a competitive edge. We collect a membership fee from the members every year. They pay $10 in order to get a listing in our directory for what they offer. This is a print directory, which actually we don't do anymore. Everything is online there, which helps us to save a lot of money. But chiropractic, clothing, retail, collectibles, computer service. So for $10, a person or a business will get a listing in our directory, and they will also get $20 worth of currency to use, to make change or whatever. So that's all there is to it. They put $10 in, they get $20 out, do it year in, year out. Ours is just a very, very simple model where all that we do, we don't have a paid employee. There's a lot of things that we don't have. But we keep our membership fees low. We are run by a volunteer board. It's legal in the United States, and always has been legal in the United States. In the United States, until around the time of the Civil War, there wasn't even a national paper currency. Like, people used gold and they used silver. But the reality of it was that people used community currencies, because, at the time of the Civil War, if you lived in Kentucky or Virginia or on the Lower East Side of New York, like, how often did you see gold or silver? Not that often, So I think, just as a matter of necessity, it's always been legal in the United States. There are places where it isn't legal, or it's legal with strictures, like in Japan. They're legal, but they have to be authorized by the government. In Germany, they haven't been legal at all until recently. But in the United States, yes, free and clear. The only strictures against it in the United States is that it can't look too much like a dollar. They don't want people to be confused about what it is. And the other thing is that if the government construes that in some way it is a way to evade paying taxes, then they'll come in. So one of the things that we're very clear about with anybody who's joining the system is that these are exactly like dollars. If you're using them to maybe, buy a bicycle from your next door neighbor, okay, there's no tax involved. There wouldn't be with dollars either. But if you're using them in your business like I do, if I have a transaction where I sell $200 worth of goods to somebody, and I agree to take all Ithaca hours, I have to pay income tax on those Ithaca hours. I have to pay sales tax on that $200 purchase. So we have the Ithaca hour is the equivalent of $10 US money, and then there's a denomination called the half an hour, which is worth $5, There's a couple of weird ones that are weird fractions. This is a quarter hour that's worth $2.50, an eighth of an hour that's worth $1.25. These two drive the retailers crazy because there's not a place for those in the cash register. And then a $1 note. And people carry them around and spend them just like regular money. US money, and here's Ithaca money. There's the dollar note. It's all the same, you know, paper money. I mean, we don't pretend to be experts. You know, all we are people who are building something and trying to do the best that we can, and learning as we go along and getting input from people as we go along. And we always thought that was sort of the best model, rather than credit cards, rather than the Federal Reserve. And I think that we've been shown to be right. You know, like the credit card companies are not doing so well. The Federal Reserve is a little bit of a mess, you know, very arcane. It becomes clear that they don't really know what they're doing. Even if they knew that they were doing, they wouldn't tell you, but they don't really know what they're doing, you know. We'll tell you when we don't know what we're doing. You know, we'll ask for help. But that's it, basically. It's just, you know, trying to keep it simple and to give people the idea, you can do this. You can do this with a dozen people in your community. Well, it's just perseverance, really, and dedication to it. We have a good board of directors, people who are interested in helping it to work. Really, that's it. You know, it's like that old saying about, you know, that they attribute to Margaret Mead about, you know, never doubt that a small group of dedicated people can change the world, because that's the only thing that does ever change the world. So in 1991, it was just a bunch of people in Ithaca who were from different, you know, community activists, sort of. And so it just started with a group of about a dozen people who met on a regular basis. That's what it is. It's going to meetings. That's really what it is. You know, like they said, the people who stay to the end of the meeting are the people who rule the world. You know, so it was just, you know, meeting twice a month for a long time, working together in a cooperative way. You know, having a shared vision. Simple stuff. That's all it was, really.